Hello everyone. Welcome to the next part of the topic which we have begun with the previous video, that is whole brain approach. In my previous video of this topic, I discussed with you all about the working of brain and the left brain, right brain, how they work together, what kind of relation they have, the comparison of their activities, as well as we discussed about the history of the whole brain approach as well as the features of the whole brain approach. But in this session or in this video, we are going to see about the steps of the whole brain approach. We'll see the benefits and the limitation of the whole brain approach. So let's first start with the steps of whole brain approach. It is already given in a very precise manner. Step 1, step 2, step 3, like this. There are 7 to 8 steps. So these steps are very precise and it has to be followed in a particular manner. So we need to learn about how it goes on one by one, step by step. Let's see the first step. As you all know, the whole brain learning classroom or teaching classroom is not the usual classroom. It is somewhat different from the normal classroom. So first introduction of the class or beginning of the class starts with attention getter. That is the class yes phase or class yes step, where the teacher comes to the class and to get attention or gain attention of the students, the, the teacher says class, and all the students, they mimic the voice of the teacher. They fold their hand, sit straight and reply yes. If the teacher says class, 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 then the student replies yes, yes, yes. So the intonation of the teacher and the student matches. That's how the teacher gets the attention of the entire class. So mostly the student mimics the teacher. That's why he has to give his full attention to the teacher in this step. The next step is the teacher specifies or tells the different rules of the classroom. The rule states that they have to follow the direction very quickly. Each and every direction should be followed very quickly, so they can do it when they will be very attentive. Raise their hand to for the permission to speak. If the student wants to speak, they have to raise their hand. They just cannot say out of turn. Also, they have to raise the hand if they want to leave their seat. So they are not allowed to disturb the class without prior intimation. Also, the students are allowed to make smart choices. They can indicate that I am choosing or I am thinking by tapping on their forehead with one finger, that I am thinking or I am making my choices. Also, they need to keep their entire environment happy. So whenever there will be some good thing happens, they will make some gestures with their hands, so that each and everyone in the class becomes happy learner. So the peers will be also happy, as well as the teacher will also be happy. And the diamond rule is keep your eyes on the target. So in the beginning, the target that what we are going to study is already being set, and the students After knowing that what they are going to study, they have to keep on track. They cannot go here and there. They cannot diverge from what they want to learn. So they always keep a track that what they are doing. That is the diamond rule. That is keeping eye on target, what they want to achieve. Step 3 is direct instruction. The teacher begins the lesson and he or she introduces the lesson or the content in small chunks, and the teacher speaks up very loudly. And when the teacher speaks up very loudly, at the same time the students are asked to repeat their word with the gestures. So the teacher says or tells the content and the student repeats the word and the gestures along with the teacher. So this goes on for 1 or 2 or 3 times, depends upon if the childs are fumbling or not. So it can be repeated for 1 or 2 times. And also there can be difference in the gesture. Once it can be said with a hypertone, once it can be said in a normal tone, and once it can be said in a very low bass tone. So there can be changes in the gesture, in the hand movement, in the way the teacher is communicating. So the teacher changes the gestures, the same is being picked up by the student and they do the similar kind of changes while repeating. The next step is known as teach okay, where the collaborative learning goes on. Here the teacher reviews what I just taught. So the teacher claps twice and the student claps twice and they say teach. So the teacher says loudly by clapping teach. Then the student says okay and they review the lesson. They see the lesson, what they have learned in their first step. In the first step, that is in the direct instructions stage, whatever they have learned, they will repeat it, and this will be repeated like clap. The teacher will clap twice and then she will say teach. Then the student will say okay and they will speak and speak whatever the teacher has taught them in the previous step. The next step is known as scoreboard game, where the teacher can set up a scoreboard beforehand, and if in the teach okay phase, the teachers the students are doing very well and they are repeating it exactly how the teacher has repeated it with the gestures, with the intonation, then they get oh yeah stand out or exclamation. So all the students get a oh yeah moment. That is the 1 second party where the teacher exclaims and also she gives smiley to oh yeah box. And if it is not being done appropriately, at that time they get mighty ground, where the the smiley of a sad face is being tagged with that box. So the students are being rewarded for their work, and the teacher keeps a keen watch of each and every student, and each and every student gets oh yeah moment and mighty ground moments. So it is very balanced. Mostly in case from KG to standard 4, oh yes, and mighty grounds are being followed. But for the students who are elder and who are from 5th to 12th standard, in that case, the teacher gives her self mark and the student marks. As the student performs well, they get points, and if the teacher performs well, they get points. So it creates a good amount of competitions among the student and the teachers, where they compete with the teacher and they try to perfect their understanding through the gestures, intonation, and the way they are acting. So they teach their fellow students according to that, and they will learn more. So this is the step of scoreboard, which can be done in many ways, and this can be used for formative as well as summative assessment of the students. Here we have to keep in mind that whenever there is a difference between the two side, teacher or student, or OEA and mighty ground, the difference should not be more than 3. That means in OA, if the child has got 1 smiley, he should not get 5, 6, 7 mighty grounds in the other side. In that case, he will be discouraged. So there should be maximum difference of 3 grounds. It cannot exceed, so that the student encourages from within that they should reach to the perfection as the teacher is getting, because they know that this what concept they are learning with the teacher right now, they have to teach to their peers also. The next step is hands and eyes, where the students are given extra attention, and they were asked that they have to repeat the word, they have to say the word using their hands and their eyes, and they have to focus on the important points which were there in the lessons, or the key words of the topic. So they have to keep a focus on the important points which are emphasized or which should be repeated during the lesson, and extra attention should be paid on that. So the key words should be pronounced with a lot of eye movement or hand movement, so that the other person will also understand that this is an important word which needs to be understood properly. So this phase where the importance of the keywords or the important points are being emphasized. The next phase is mirror, or step 6. In the mirror phase, the students, they are made into groups. They come into groups and they mirror the words which the teacher has said exactly how they have said. So the teacher, when she said, lifting her hand, teach, the class responds okay, and they start teaching to their peers the chunk of concept which they have already learned. It can be done with incorporation of teachers' gestures, songs, and chants, and also they can use their own contribution in that way. So the student, they perform as the mirror of the teacher. So when they are in group, they are teaching the peer as they are a teacher. So the pair works in collaborative manner to teach each other. And the teacher says teach, they teach by responding okay. Then not only one student teaches always, they need to switch their position. Once one student teaches and the other time the other student teaches. So as because we all know that while teaching we learn more. So each of the student gets the chance to learn even more. So they switch their position from one to another. So this is also being directed by the teacher, that switch your position, then the students switch their position and they teach each other in the same manner as one person has taught them before. So these are the steps of whole brain teaching. Now let's see about the role of a teacher in a whole brain teaching. The teacher motivates the student to take the charge of the learning. Also, the teacher motivates the student to become more knowledgeable one and act as MKO, that is more knowledgeable other. The student understand it is his or her responsibility also to teach the peer. So he and she, the student, become more engrossed and more attentive during the class session. The teacher also maintains the clear-cut instruction how each and every step will go in the class and also maintain the order in the class. The teacher has to devise the plan to gain the attention. In the very first, we have seen that attention getter is the step. So the teacher has to devise the plan how he or she is going to get the attention of the entire class. It can be different kind of phrases, different kind of movements, different kind of words they can use. So they have to devise the plan to get the attention of the student. Also, they have to develop scoreboards every day for either for the whole class or for the individual student, and also maintain it. The teacher integrates their teaching styles with the classroom. That means the teacher integrates their own teaching. What kind of teaching they do, they reflects it or gives it to the student, and the teaching style is also being reflected or being mirrored by the student while they are teaching their peers. It also integrate different teaching styles, skills, techniques and activity. So during each step, the teacher needs to think about different activities and different steps to be followed and different skills to be followed, techniques and to be followed, so that the monotony of the sessions should not be there. If one session has something different teaching style or different skill or technique and activity, the next lesson should have something different, so that the student does not lose their interest. Also, the teacher actively engage the student throughout the class and monitors that they are doing and they are following the instructions very clearly and they are doing what they are expected to do. And also at the end, they uh, the teacher has to plan for assessment. So this scoreboard game, as I already told you, can be used for formative and summative evaluation. So the teacher needs to plan that where I am going to use this scoreboard, if at all I am going to use it, and if I am going to use it, where I am going to use it. Next, we'll see the role of a student in whole brain teaching. The student takes active part and he understands that now I am assuming the role of more knowledgeable one, so I have to understand and complete my role for it. Also, the student abide by the instructions given by the teachers. The rule of the classrooms are followed by the student very carefully. Also, they respond to the teacher very keenly and wholeheartedly. They participate in each and every activity which the teacher has been designed for them. They become very wholeheartedly involved because they take the responsibility. With the sense of responsibility comes more attention and motivation to work hard. They take responsibility while working in group or in pair. Whenever they are into that phase of phase of mirror and switch. They take responsibility to teach the other group members or the partner in the pair. Also, they show positive affiliation with the partners. They develop a very good interdependence with the partner because both of them are acting as teacher in any one point of the time during the class. Also, they understand that this is my responsibility, that I should be learning. So they take accountability of their own learning, and without any kind of interference, they keep on understanding that learning is beneficial for me and I am going to learn more. So they keep on learning more and more things. Let's see the benefits of whole brain teaching. It empowers and encourages the students as learners because the student takes a lot of responsibility. They become accountable. They become very attentive. So they are encouraged and they are empowered. The classroom environment become calm and tension free because each and every one is involved in their work. They are working wholeheartedly. So the classroom environment become very tension free and very calm. The student involves in various way of working. It combines direct instruction where the teacher is giving them the direct instruction and they share their knowledge or understanding with their peers, as well as the immediate feedback which they get from their partners as well they give to the teacher. So it combines all the things which completes the entire learning cycle. Also, when the students are involved and engaged actively, they learn more. It also results in better understanding and strong retention of the knowledge. It helps in carry out assessment easily. The teacher can carry out assessment very easily with the help of scoreboard game. Let's see the limitations of the whole brain teaching. Mostly it depends on the participation of the student, which sometimes may disrupt the working of the class because not every day the student can give their 100%. So, or the students sometimes don't feel like getting involved. In that time, they may cause some kind of disruption in the classroom. It also depends on the creativity of the teacher in using different techniques and strategies. So teachers needs to be very creative and they need to blend everything properly. They need to have more experiences in different kind of teaching techniques and strategies and different kind of involvement of the students. Also, it depends on the student acceptance during the entire learning process, that how much the student accepts the learning. That also very important. If they don't accept the learning in this way, then the entire work become fruitless. Also, sometimes it becomes very difficult to get involved the student throughout the classroom. The student sometimes cannot remain enough enthusiastic and active for the entire session. Sometimes they feel dull or sometimes they become exhausted and they show low amount of energy, which sometimes cause may become the limitation of the. So I hope all of you have understood about whole brain learning. So this entire concept is being divided into two different videos. One I have already posted, and in this video we have studied about steps of whole brain learning. We have studied about the role of teacher and the student. Also we have seen the benefits as well as the limitation of whole brain learning. I hope you all have understood this concept very nicely. If you liked it, please press the like button, and if you want to get more such videos, subscribe my channel, as well as you can give comments and suggestions in comment box. also you can share it. Thank you and happy learning.